Hey guys, welcome back to Actually You Know What, where we turn our wine nights into content. And guess what we've done? We've drank wine, and guess who I'm with? I'm with Mallory.
We had a wine night and almost finished a bottle each. What?
I think
that's some talking to do, you know?
I do like the fact that we don't jump right into the podcast.
Yeah.
We have to like drink for a bit first.
We have to like decompress.
Yeah,
too,
we gotta
I
wind
literally
down.
come the past couple times I've come straight from like putting my daughter to bed. So I'm like, I just need a minute, you know?
Like, I need to decompress a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have done nothing. So I'm like,
No,
I also need to decompress.
No, you're busy too. So it's just nice to like catch up too and
yeah.
not just be like, let's get right into business. No, it's like we're friends. We're gonna fucking talk for a second.
Well, because sometimes we talk about things that we can't talk about on the
Yeah, true.
podcast because
That's very
we
true.
talk shit about every single one of you. So Yep, every single one of you. All
We
the
know
whole lot of you.
your legal business or what's it called? Your government name.
Yep, every single one of you. We got to talk about. So we are excited for the episode that we have today. For those of you that don't know, it was Mallory's birthday week this week. Whenever this releases, it's going to be Thanksgiving week, and that's what we were talking about.
Happy Thanksgiving
Happy
or
Thanksgiving.
Indigenous Day or Turkey Day or whatever the
El Día de los Turkeys.
or just regular ass day if you're not from the U.S.
Yeah, I mean whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving Day, Black Friday. I know a lot of people are not celebrating Black Friday this year. I am. I need shit. So
yeah, I mean, if there's a good deal, I have a
need
daughter to
it.
buy for now.
Dude, you think I'm not gonna buy shit when it's 50% off? I'm broke. What do you
literally,
mean?
they already have some deals on Amazon.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at PCs this year. I'm looking at the one PC for my room, and that's kind of what I'm aiming for because our work is like it's like a whole thing with my work. But I'm trying to separate my work from my gaming, and I don't. Right now, where I game is where I work.
Right.
So I'm just in this room all the time. And I think that's partially why I haven't been gaming lately because this is where I work, I record the podcast, I edit the podcast, and then I game. And I'm like, get me out of this room.
Yeah, you need to separate work and play for sure.
So that's the goal is to hopefully get a PC and work on that. But I'm excited for some of the deals.
Yeah, we
wait.
love a Black Friday deal. Honestly,
it.
any fucking sale, sign me up.
Dude, I saw a meme earlier today. The meme earlier that I saw was like, I feel like I need something on Amazon. I don't know what.
Dude, that's me every day. Well, it's because I feel like I legitimately have a list in my head all the time. And I feel like anyone who's a busy 30-plus-year-old, especially who has a kid, I feel like my brain constantly is like, thinking of things I need for her, thinking of things I need for the house. I'm like constantly like running through a list and then I forget things. So it's like, I know I need something from Amazon. I know I do. I just don't know what it is.
Right. And I feel like I'm constantly putting stuff on my list and then a day and a half later I'm buying it. And I'm like, why do I even bother putting it on a list?
Right, just
I'm
like,
going to buy
just
it now.
buy it, yeah.
Just get it now. But happy Thanksgiving, happy Black Friday or not Black Friday, whatever you guys celebrate when you listen to this. If you guys haven't already wished Mallory a happy birthday, I will be mad at you and I will be showing up to your house.
And thank you to those of you, especially like our OG supporters. I know a lot of you guys have wished me a happy birthday and I really appreciate that. My birthday was pretty good. I got to spend the day before with my mom, which we do like an annual mother-daughter day. We, go out to eat and we go shopping all day. And so we had a good day. And then the actual day of my birthday, I had my in-laws watch my daughter and I was able to literally have a mommy like relaxation day, which was very nice. I got a massage and I just took a bath and did all the chilling. So it was a good birthday and I appreciate anyone who reached out.
Yeah, I was following along your stories when you were doing that, and I was like, I remember, like, there are so many days that I'm like, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do a self-care day, and it's going to be fantastic. And I always picture it in my head, and I never do it. Once in a great while, I will have like a self-care night, but it's never an entire day.
Yeah, it was very much an intentional thing. Like, I had to force myself to do it. Like, I tried to make the house somewhat in order the previous few days, so I wasn't tempted to do chores. I had to like tell myself in my head, no, don't do anything around the house, just take care of you today. I was very hard, but
like no chore, only self-care.
Yeah, it was like I had to continually and I still ended up doing like one or two little tiny things, but for the most part, I focused on that, and it was good.
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
It did look like it was a cozy day.
It was, yeah.
Like you
and it was like a kind of a chilly, rainy day too.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked.
Yeah, it was nice. The weather this week it's been a little weird because it's been so cold, and then all of a sudden
Today
it was like
was
60
really
degrees.
nice. Yeah, today was it was a beautiful fall day. I was like, if this is how
Yeah.
every day in fall was, I would be in heaven.
Which we never got. Like, I feel like we got a couple days of fall that were like 60-degree weather and like nice. Like, I want to be outside in like maybe a sweatshirt weather. And then it just immediately went to like, by the way, now it's 35 degrees out.
It was too cold and windy but yeah, today was beautiful.
Yeah, it was. I had my windows open. I like was outside in a t-shirt. I was just like, today rules.
It was.
Haven't said that in a while, by the way.
Rules.
Oh, that rules. Bring that back. I love that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Mal. It's Scorpio season, which I love.
Yeah,
love Scorpio season. Best season. But Mel, I wanted to get right into it.
Yeah.
As far as the segment, what made you cry this week? Oh no, I hate crying. It's the worst.
It's good. It's so good and so bad at the same time. Things that made me cry. I have a long ass list, but I decided to narrow it down just to one good one today. So I rewatched one of my old comfort movies from when I was like a teenager, early 20s, which I'm sure a lot of people that are around our age have as a comfort movie, and it's Edward Scissorhands. And it wasn't just like one part made me cry. It was like I cried multiple times during the movie. And I don't know, I just feel like, first of all, when his creator daddy, his
creator daddy. Yes.
his daddy,
right.
when he is just about to give him his actual hands and just like croaks in front of him, it's just like, first of all, it's sad because that's like his dad in a way,
right?
And then also his like chances of, first of all, why did his dad make him have those hands? Like, why are you gonna bring something to life with crazy killer scissor hands?
How do I make you the most inconvenient
right
being?
Like how let's like make your
let me make your life so hard,
beginning of your life the most difficult
right.
I can make it.
I'm gonna make this so hard for you.
So what the fuck? But also it was just sad. Like he was just about to get normal hands and then it's gone and his dad's gone. And then like Peg was so nice and had the best intentions, but like everyone in that neighborhood was so mean to him. Everyone was so cruel, didn't give him the benefit of the doubt, didn't understand that he was not a normal human. I don't know. It just, the whole movie fucked me up. I was just like, wow, I don't remember this. Maybe I was going through it a little bit when I watched
your
it.
video face. No, is Edward Scissorhands the one where like all the cars are leaving at the same time?
Yeah,
in the morning
it's like a weird, not dystopian, but it's like a weird, adjacent universe to ours. It's not, because Roy asked me the same thing. When is this supposed to take place? And I told him, I don't think it's supposed to take place in any time.
It's one of those movies
that really
where
makes sense because there's like some things that are 50s, some things that are 60s, some things that are like even 90s because they have like phones that are like look different and they have like cars, vans that look more like 80. You know,
it's funny that you say that because that reminds me of a movie. Have you ever seen the movie It Follows?
Yes,
it's
been a
movie.
long time.
So that movie is kind of the same thing where they have phones that have not been invented. And it has like an 80s vibe to it, but it has a futuristic vibe to it because they have cell phones. But the cell phones are like nothing you've ever seen before.
Right.
And I think it just adds to the eerie feeling of you don't know when it takes place. So I guess I've never really noticed that about Edward Scissorhands, is that like you don't know.
If you watched it when you were young, which you probably did. It was probably like a high school or like high school
I watched
movie,
it when I was
when I really watched it. And it's been years since I've rewatched it, so that's why I did. Mm-hmm. And it's like a movie that's safe to put on with Evie because it's not like scary or anything. Well, not scary in my opinion. She's fine.
She's all right. She'll make it.
She needs to be starting to get around some of the weird stuff because I am weird. But yeah, it's like I feel like there's a lot of like commentary on like the American culture of people being bored with their lives and the mediocrity of it all and the monotonous of it all, that this weird person comes into their neighborhood and that becomes their obsession, they like love him, but then they're so quick to turn on him just to like have a scapegoat for whatever their fucked up shit is. But yeah, it's like a really good movie, but things that were in it should not have made me cry. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Am I okay?
You're like, am I good? Is there something deeper here?
I think maybe I just needed some excuse.
Sometimes you need to do that. And I feel like I have movies like that where, and I don't know how to explain that to a man, or even to explain it to somebody like, I don't, maybe my mom. I don't know if she's ever done this, but I've never talked to her about it, where sometimes you just need a cry, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of women our age and maybe even younger are aware of that, where it's like, dude, I need to cry.
Yeah.
I have to cry right now. I'm going to put on this movie because I know it's going to make me cry, right? And I do that with P.S. I Love You, where I'm just like,
we talked about that the last time,
I'm like, I need a good fucking cry.
That one's such a good one.
Dude,
yeah,
so
it wasn't
good.
even like I put it on because I had to cry. It was just like that, those little like moments of like looking at his face and how just he looks so alone and just like
he's so innocent.
He like he like gives up on his dreams of like whatever, and it's just so upsetting to me. But yeah, I totally agree with the putting on. I sometimes though, like the way my life's going at this current state of, I don't know, my life of motherhood and everything else going on, I don't think I need anything to make me cry. I just need to really be like, you know, I'm gonna cry right now. I gotta just commit to it.
I think now is when I cry.
Yeah,
I think that's
I
what
need to cry, so
now.
I'm going to.
Yeah,
and then it just happens.
You know what? Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Whatever works. So Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Is
yeah. What's your response to that?
My response to it is I get it.
No, I mean like your comeback.
My thing that made me cry this week was a poem that I heard on TikTok, as per usual, because TikTok is always, I'm either crying or I'm cracking up. There is no in between. There is no, like, it's very rare that I get any other kind of video, right? So I got a poem, and it's by a guy, and I don't know his I'll have to tag him in like whatever description, but the poem essentially just, it's a guy, and he's reading his own poem, and I'm just gonna read the first 3 lines. He says something like, guys are always like, oh, I would die for you.
Yeah,
I would kill for you.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I would be kind for you. I would reject the impulses to indulge in my violent nature for you. And he goes on to talk about like the kind things that he would do for you, you know, as somebody who loves you. And it made me cry because it was so unexpected. And so like, you know, because that's usually when what I find on TikTok is a whole book talk. You know, I'm going to murder you or I'm going to wear a mask and do these things to you.
Right.
And for this person to go, I would die for you. I would kill for you. I would be kind for you.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. That made me, it hit me in a way that I wasn't expecting to be hit. And I thought that was an interesting topic for us to talk about, because the first thing that I thought about was who I have dated and who has had a violent nature and a manly macho man nature of, oh, I'm the dude and I'm gonna kick this guy's ass, versus a guy who's kind and gentle and that treats you in a gentle way.
Right.
And I thought you would be a good person to talk to about that, because I feel like your husband, Roy, is a gentle, kind man. He's a big guy, but he's so kind and gentle.
Yeah, no, his first instinct is not to go kick someone's ass, for sure. He doesn't yell. Like, if we ever get into an argument, which happens in any relationship, marriage, whatever, it's going to happen. It's not yelling. It's not usually, you know, angry words or name calling. It's usually just like frustration talking and stuff. So yeah, it's good in a lot of ways. It's like refreshing for me, coming from like my childhood and my background. I think that might be one of the reasons I gravitated towards him. Sometimes I get a little bit in my head about it though, in a way of like if someone like wrongs me or wrongs us and as a family, or we're in the car and somebody does something stupid, and I'm like, can you get like a little mad? Like, can you just like
yell at them?
Yeah.
Like, can you do something about this?
So I feel like in the most part, it's a really good trait to have. And I totally get the poem. It's like a deconstructing the toxic masculinity of it all. It's like, you don't need to be this macho man who's going to just like fucking, you know, flex his muscles and, you know.
And that's not always the answer.
Right.
Like sometimes, especially when it comes to being a woman, and yes, sometimes I'm going to need that manly man to pick up something heavy for me or, you know, take care of something. But I think in most cases, I'm not putting myself in situations where I need you to kick somebody's ass.
No.
What I need from you is to be kind and gentle to me.
Right.
You know?
I mean, the perfect man would be my husband. Like when we are in a difficult time, like he's very gentle with me. We, you know, usually work it out, and we usually have like a, you know, a more constructive, gentle, you know, way of fighting or whatever, or way of conflict resolution. And also a man that will, when somebody does something that pisses me off, be like, why would you piss off my wife?
Right. But at the same time, when are you ever in that situation where, other than maybe like a family or an awkward situation, right, where it's a little bit more complicated than that. But like when I think manly man, I'm thinking you're at a bar and, you know, a dude is hitting on you and he's like, well, I'm gonna go take you outside and beat the shit out of you. When are we ever in a situation like that, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't think it. I think it needs to be, there needs to be someone that, like, if that happens, which it doesn't happen to us anymore because we don't go out to the bars as much.
Well, and also, if Mel ever gets hit on, she will shut that shit.
Yeah,
Mel
I will do the job for him, most likely.
I feel like I've gotten that from you too, where like if a dude hits on me, I'm like, ew. Unless I want him to hit on me. Right. I'm like, ew, no.
Right. Yeah.
Like I've gotten that from you, and I feel like I'm grateful that I've gotten that from you.
Right. And there's a difference between, like, some dudes will do it in a super like non-threatening, like whatever manner, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I don't like.
There's a difference between coming up to us and being sweet,
right? Which
has happened with one of the girls' nights that we had last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
Where we went out and this young kid, he was in his like early 20s, came up to our table and was like asking the girls whatever, and we were like, oh honey, no,
right,
like we were nice to him. We were like, oh honey, like we're so much older than you, like that's really sweet, but no.
Like,
and as opposed to, but then the opposite of that, where we went outside of that bar later on. Remember, we were trying to get an Uber, and that one guy was being weird about it.
Right.
And he was like, can I pay for you Uber? Can I take you home? Can I do this? And I was like, go away.
Right.
Like get away from
read
us.
the room, guys.
Psychopath.
But yeah, no, I think there needs to be like a, if some guy is like bothering me and it's like visibly bothering me, sure, as my man, you should address it in some way.
Agree.
Just be like, hey, back up. Like,
hey,
she said no, or if she said leave her alone, just leave her alone. I don't think you need to punch somebody in the face and be violent.
Which I think is like good in retrospect, where you think about it and you're like, I want to see my man punch a guy out. But then you think about it and you're like, I feel like it's a, and this is something that's been on my mind too, is talking about on the podcast, the whole book talk thing.
Right.
Because I feel like it's an interesting thing in theory, but I think that if it happens in real life, you're like, ew.
It's like sexy as hell. It's hot. It's like a fantasy.
It's like, I want my significant other to punch a dude at the bar.
That's why it's so popular.
But the context behind it is like, but then I have to deal with all that.
Right.
And now I have to deal with the consequences of it, everything. If it was just like a book where it's like, oh, he just punched a guy and now we get to go home and go into the bedroom. Cool. Right. But now it's like, well,
he might be arrested for assault.
It's like now we have to leave and we have to pay our tab. And it's like a whole thing.
Banned from this bar for life.
Can we even come back here?
Does he have anger issues? Does he have drinking issues?
Right.
Like,
it's a whole thing now, as opposed to the fantasy of, oh, he's just gonna knock a guy out for me, you know.
Well, and that's where like some people, I'm sure, get the fantasy mixed up with the reality. Like, it's okay to think that's hot and to that turn you on or whatever, but it's not real. Like, it's not like it's not fucking rooted in reality. Like, someone that violent and that has that nature is not healthy for you to date.
Right. Like imagine every dude that came up to you and said anything to you and your significant other, husband, boyfriend, whatever, were just like clocked him in the face. And you're like, what? So
like,
yeah,
are you okay? Go get some therapy.
You need help, brother.
Right.
Like it's a definitely something that is better in theory.
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting thing that kind of ties into that of the whole, gentle versus whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting.
What do you think sparked it for make you to cry though? Just like the fact that you've just needed to hear
great
that?
Question. That's a really good question. And I think it has to do with something that I've been thinking about a lot recently is I've never really had somebody that was gentle with me.
Right.
And I have had a lot of guys that have been sweet and that have been nice or whatever, but I've never really had anybody that has treated me differently and treated me in a gentle way. And I think that the guys that I have gravitated towards have been more angry and not just in a I want to fight another dude kind of way, but towards me too.
Right.
Where I come to them with my feelings, thoughts or whatever, and they get defensive and they get angry and that's their response, right? And I think I've dealt with that in a lot of different avenues in my life. So when I heard the gentle part, it was very like, it just touched a part of me that I was like, I think I crave that so much.
Right.
I think
you're like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I do crave somebody that as fun as the whole book talk fantasy of, I want to, you read your smutty little books and it's like, the aggressiveness and whatever else. But I think the fantasy of having somebody that treats you gently and treats you like you are delicate and treats you like they do want to take care of you.
Right.
I think that's something that I do crave, but is something it's hard for me to look for, and it's hard for me to be soft because I've been so independent for a really long time. So I think that's why it did hit that.
I feel like a lot of it too is like when we're young, we want someone to protect us. So we think like this big, gruff, strong, angry boy who gets mad if anyone looks our way is protecting us. But that isn't necessarily the type of protecting like we crave. We're craving someone that's protecting like our everything, like trying to help us have peace and like feel at home and feel calm and have our nervous systems calm. Like that's what a lot of people, like especially people like me and Stephanie, like we crave feeling like just our nervous systems are completely chill. We're just relaxed.
And I think I've never had that before, which is why it's a foreign concept to me.
And which is why I like Roy, you know, like I'm sure when we were young, my nervous system wasn't that relaxed because he was an idiot. But now that we're older and, we've gone through the trials and tribulations that we did when we were younger. And now I know like we're solid now, obviously. Whenever it's just me and him, it's just chill. Like I feel completely at home. I feel completely at ease to be me. I don't feel like tension and like, and that's not even something I can say that was absent from my life, even as a child, there's always some tension to be found, whether it's in school or home life or whatever. So it's nice now that I have a, just like a safe place. You want your person to be a safe place. So I think that's like a good way of differentiating like what kind of protection you might actually be craving.
And I think I kind of talked about it on the last episode where I think I'm wired to think a certain way and I'm trying to currently rewire myself to think a different way of knowing that gentle and slow and steady is okay because I'm so used to chaos. I'm so used to feeling the anxiety of the uncertainty, the unknown would give me a lot of anxiety. And I got that a lot from people that I was dating. And it's familiar to me. So because it's familiar to me, even though it's not right, it's comfortable. So when somebody does come at me with a gentler energy or a softer energy or something, or, slower energy even, to me, I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? Does that mean that you're not actually into me?
I can literally relate to that because when I was talking about my early relationship with Roy, it was so up and down. It was so passionate one way or the other, right? It was like fighting for each other or being mad or listening to angry love music on radio. And like, you feel like so alive and not always in a good way, like like I said, your nervous system is like constantly like just so wired and you feel that you're completely always like frazzled but you feel like quote unquote alive. So when things are good, and this happened to me and Roy, at least on my end, his end, maybe I think he was usually fine because that's just how he is. But at my end, I was like, do we even like each other anymore? Because it was like, it just felt so like,
right,
just so steady that I was like, do we even love each other? Like, I don't know.
You reach that comfortability of this is weird.
Yeah.
Is that how it's supposed to be? Is it too comfortable? It's not. Right. It's like that anxiety. And this is what I tell people too, is because a lot of people are like, well, I didn't feel the butterflies. I didn't feel this. And I'm like, I don't think you always have to feel the butterflies.
No.
I think actually the butterflies for me and the times that I can remember getting butterflies, and I can count them on less than one hand actually. The times that I got butterflies was never because I was in love with that person. It was because I had an anxiety at the time, and the anxiety was sparked in that moment.
Right.
And it's just like, I'm like, that's not butterflies. That's something else.
Right. I feel like I've gotten butterflies from anxious feelings, and I've gotten butterflies for anticipatory feelings.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a negative. I feel like anxious is more negative.
Yeah.
But I've been in anticipatory, like, is this the night we're going to make out? Is this the night we're going to, sleep together? Is this the night we're going to say the I love yous? Like, I would have those anticipatory butterflies.
Right.
And now that
Which, like, it's an exciting,
right.
I don't
it's
know.
It's a good
but
butterfly.
Also kind of like anxiety.
Right. And I don't get butterflies that often anymore. And I feel like that's just maybe it's just a growing up thing. Yeah. And the fact that I am in a stable relationship, but yeah, I would say that they die down a lot. I still get them, but it's about like new stuff. It's like, ooh, when I move into my house, and ooh, if I have a baby, and I do have a baby now.
When I think butterflies doesn't have to be one exact feeling. I don't think that it has to be like, well, it feels like my heart dropped into my ass. Like I feel like that when I go on the giant drop. Like
I love
you know
that.
what I mean? Like
yeah.
It does. That's not what it has to mean. It could mean that you're just excited about something,
right?
And
yeah, and butterflies can be anxious too. But I wouldn't say that the thought of my man gives me that, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah. I think like, yeah, we have a good, healthy, steady relationship, and we love the shit out of each other, and there's nothing that we want to do without each other. It's like, so I don't think like you need that, I don't know, that macho man that gives you those butterflies and all these like intense things all the time to be happy. And I think like you said, like your brain is wired a certain way where your heart and your brain are like confused. Like, do I love this person? Do I like this person? Like, I'm not feeling the same things because it's not tumultuous. Like it shouldn't be.
Yeah. It's a weird feeling, and it's a weird thing to have to try and rewire your brain to understand that like it's you don't have to feel that. Right. You don't have to feel this weird anxiety. You don't have to feel this. And if you don't feel that, it doesn't mean that you don't like this person, or just because you didn't feel, it's a weird thing to.
Right. And going off of your previous podcast that you did solo, I think you're doing the healing while you're not in a serious relationship.
Right. Yeah.
I did the healing because I got back into a serious relationship. Because like I said, I went through the same exact thing where I thought like, I'm not feeling these strong, crazy ups and downs. Does that mean I don't like this person? It's just, I had to rewire how I thought of a healthy relationship, just like you're doing right now. It just looks a little different. So I totally relate to that for sure.
Yeah, it's a journey for sure. And I've talked to you about it off mic where I'll be like, I know that this is crazy to think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware of it. I'm very aware of it. And I think that's what makes it even harder, is that I know what I'm thinking or what I'm doing is incorrect or it's wrong. And I'm trying to work through it because I still feel it though.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I just need to talk about it out loud so that it gets out of my body.
Right.
Because if it doesn't, I feel like I'm going to fucking explode.
Isn't that exactly what I said to our tarot reader the last time?
Yeah. Yeah. You
I
did
said
actually.
like, I know in my head that the way that I'm feeling is not necessarily quote unquote correct, but I can't make myself not feel that way.
I can't help it.
Like
yeah,
I'm feeling this way and
yeah.
I want to not feel this way, but I do. And I'm not going to just like pretend to not feel this way.
Right. And no, and that's exactly how I feel about relationships, is that I feel like I get in my head and I feel these things. And if I don't say the thing that's on my mind, I feel like I'm going to fucking explode.
Right.
And I've said that to you before where I'm like, this is how I'm feeling right now. I'm going to tell him this. And like, sometimes it's like, well, have you thought it out? And I'm like, I can't, I have to tell him this. And it's up to that person whether or not they want to deal with it, quote unquote, deal with it, or talk it out, or go, let's explore that. Or if they want to get defensive and fucking weird about it, like, well, you know, it's a turn.
Right. And to preface that, you as a person, and I guess I'm just backing her up right now to the listeners, but you don't like go crazy and be mean about it. You're literally just like communicating.
I'm like, I gotta talk about it.
Hey, listen, you fuck. No.
Yeah, it's not like I'm like, hey, you're a dumb fucking
right.
idiot.
You're like, I have a feeling and I just need to get it out and I just need to talk about it.
And that's all it ever is. And it's,
right.
I try so hard to make it not accusatory. And that's what I did in my last relationship, was I would always preface it. And I remember showing you screenshots where I was like, I am being so non-accusatory and I'm trying to preface everything lightly and be...
Well, it's almost like you're explaining yourself.
I am.
Like, this is why I might be acting weird right now.
Because, like, hey, I know
feel like
I'm
people
acting
like
this
you
way.
and me, we look really deep into how people are acting. Like,
dude,
her vibes are off. What's wrong?
Yeah.
So I'm just like prefacing, like, hey, I'm acting weird because of this. Like, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm just letting you know. And that I feel like any normal person that actually cares about you would not see an issue in that.
And that's what's so crazy, is that I think the way that you and I are, I noticed that when it comes to people like in relationships especially, I get a lot, wow, you're so thoughtful, you're so considerate. And I'm like, this is just like being a normal person to me. This is what I would do for my friend. This is what I would do for anybody. And it's like, to me, that's the bare minimum, right? And yeah, it's just so bizarre to think like, this is just how I am communicating with you. I'm just trying to let you know this is what I'm feeling right now. And I know it might not be your fault. I also don't think it's my fault for feeling this way. It's the fault. And this is what I said to one of my exes at one point. I was like, it has nothing to do with you, and it has everything to do with what's happened to me in the past. However, I still feel this way. So I appreciate you explaining this to me. And when I brought up my ex is when he went fucking ballistic.
Right.
And he was like, wow, I'm not that person. I can't believe that I was like, whoa, I'm not saying that you are that person. I'm saying that person is why I feel that way. And I appreciate you. Like, it was like, everything was okay until I brought up the fact of why I felt that way.
Right.
And then it just like all went to shit. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Right. You're not allowed to have I'm
not allowed to have triggers. I'm not allowed to have traumas. And that's something that I've come to find, honestly, dude, when it comes to dating, is that I feel like not a lot of men have gotten cheated on. Whereas I feel like almost every single woman that I know has gotten cheated on. Mm-hmm. And that's why when a guy will not understand where I'm coming from, or he'll say, you know, well, you should just trust people. No, actually, I shouldn't. Do you want me to walk you through everything that I've gone through? Because I will. I don't think I've been explicitly cheated on. I've been fucked with, you know, but I haven't been explicitly cheated on, I would say.
But even me, I have been fucked over by enough people, relationship or friendship wise. And it's like asking me to trust some random person in the checkout lane or something. Like, no.
Yeah.
I don't know this person.
I don't think that's fair.
Like, I'm not going to just
I don't
trust
know you
people.
like that. Yeah.
I think trust is earned 100%.
100%.
I think there's a baseline, politeness and like not accountability, but like you give them benefit of the doubt, like, sure, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't think you would do that to me, but I don't 100% know that.
Right.
So I can't trust you 100%.
I also think that it's like, yes, should everybody have a baseline of like, I don't fully trust you, but I don't distrust you. And you start at like a 0, right? Yes, totally. However, I think that if you have gone through shit before, you are going to start at a negative, right? Because and the shit that I've gone through. And I don't think it's unfair for me. And I did talk about this on the last episode. So anybody who's listening, sorry that I'm kind of reiterating it, but I don't think it's unfair for me to say, no, I can't easily trust you because I went through A, B, C, D.
Right.
And not only did I go through that, I went through it multiple times with multiple people. So don't come at me and say, well, I deserve this. You don't deserve shit until you prove that to me. And in order for you to prove that to me, yes, it's going to be harder. And I get that. And that's something that I've talked to you about, where I know the things that I need from a relationship right now are maybe more than most people because of the things that I've gone through. But I think that the right person would do that for me, because I think I would do that for somebody,
I think if I really like someone and they came to me and like, hey, I have trust issues regarding X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So I just need this, and this to be done, so I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Done.
I would be like, okay, I fucking like you, so I'm going to do it. And I don't think that's a weird thing to ask.
Right. And I think that I'm so quick to do those things. And I think in, my last relationship, when I would game a lot with a male friend of mine, and I would always like make it a point to be like, because he did mention something about that at one point, I was like, okay, yeah, I will make sure that I invite you, that I ask you first before playing this game every single time. And then it just got to the point where he never wanted to play. So I'm like, well, then why am I asking you?
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Right.
But I will always do my best to make sure that the person that I'm with knows that I'm about them and only them. And I feel like I do date and live above reproach, and I do that because of what's happened to me. Mm-hmm. And I get that it hasn't happened to everybody. So not everybody thinks that way, which is a foreign concept to me. To me, people trusting somebody right off the bat is weird.
Yeah, no, I never, like I said, I never was explicitly cheated on, but I was in a situationship long enough to not trust certain things. And like, I've been in obviously a healthy relationship for a very good amount of time now, where those worries are pretty much, gone. But still, there's certain things that, like, if Roy goes on a trip with a bunch of boys, I just want to make sure you're alive once or twice a day.
Dude,
just make sure you're alive. Make sure
that's hard for me.
Yeah. Make sure you're not like, tell me you love me. You know what I mean? Like, just do that. And, I won't be as racy with the thoughts. But even then, it's like, still, you always have those wonders, but at the same time, like, I know who you're going with, and they're all losers, so I'm just kidding.
Well, and I also think this is something that I talked to you about a day or two ago, where I was like, you and I are different on that front, where I feel like I have such an anxious attachment with relationships, where if they go on a vacation with their boys, I am so like, I need to hear from you all day, every day, almost, because the experiences that I've had are so like, for me, silence means you're fucking around behind my back. And that's been proven to me. So when I get that silence now, I'm still thinking that. Is that fair to the new guys? No.
Right. No, I totally get why you would think that. And I, at some point, was like that. But I'm just saying, like, I've been in a decent relationship long enough now.
Obviously that helps too, is that you guys have been together for a long time.
Right, where I don't, those thoughts don't immediately come to me. Like, if he doesn't talk to me for a certain amount of time, my immediate thought is he's drunk and like in a ditch somewhere. Like I don't think about cheating. I think about he's dead or he's just like
You're thinking about it in a different way. Where
I'm
it's
thinking
like,
like
are
his
you
safety
okay?
and like
Yeah.
him being a drunk idiot. Like that's how I'm thinking.
And what's funny is I used to think that way with somebody that I dated in the past. Was he would go out and he would do things, and I was like, are you okay? I want to make sure that you're not dead in a fucking ditch right now. I want to, because I know that you're going out and you're getting drunk and you're on drugs. I want to make sure that you're okay. And he would literally come home bleeding because he did something stupid.
That's a little extreme, yeah.
No, literally, I remember one time I woke up and there was blood on my wall, and he's like, oh yeah, it's because I fucking hit my lip on a curb. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God.
So for me, it used to stem from a place of, are you okay? I want to make sure you're good. I want to make sure you're alive. I want to make sure that like you didn't get blackout drunk and your buddies didn't leave you in a ditch somewhere, because I'm sorry, nobody loves you as much as I do. And the end of that relationship and multiple relationships taught me that they were fine the entire time. The silence was not because they were hurt or whatever else. The silence was because they were doing shit behind my back.
Yeah.
So now it's a triggering thing for me.
Yeah.
And,
And that's so fair.
It's a tough thing, and that's why like going back to the whole, a gentle man kind of thing. I've never had that. So I think for me, the unfamiliar is scary.
Right.
Where I'm like, what do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean you're gentle?
Do you even like me?
Do you even like me? What do you mean you're not asking me for like, and this is kind of what I talked about again in the last episode, where I was like, you're not asking me for photos of myself that are sexy. You're not asking me for this. You're not trying to like jump into a relationship. Do you even like me?
Right. Right.
Right. But
it's just the healthy getting to know each other phase that you're like a little unsure of.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfamiliar waters.
Right. But I do think that the gentle versus the manly man thing is such an interesting thing, because I think that's like kind of dudes' default option. Like their default mind is they think that they're this like super manly dude that's whatever. And I think a lot of men don't dive into their gentler selves. And I think they would find life to be a lot more easier if they did.
I don't really understand how we as a society got to this point, because a manly man, to most women, I'm not saying like there's not some outliers, because I'm sure there's some weirdos out there, but to most women, a manly man isn't just someone that's gonna like, get physical to protect his family or whatever, like, oh, I'm a man. It's like also someone that's going to just do whatever he can to make his family happy, whether that be, taking his kids to go play at the zoo for a day, and giving them hugs and kisses and like loving on them and making sure that they know what a healthy relationship with a father figure looks like. Whether that be, taking their wife and like doing, taking her to like get her favorite coffee in her favorite restaurant and going to her shopping and like doing like cute little girly quote unquote things with her to make her know that she's like, I don't know, that's like a man to me.
Well, I think to go along with that, I think the manliest thing that a dude can do is make his wife happy. I think that's the manliest thing that you can do, is keep your wife happy. And if that means that you are, or taking care of the kids, is that means that you're taking her out to do whatever, and you're bringing a nice coffee to her work, or you're
helping her do the housework, helping her.
You're interested in her hobbies,
right?
You're
giving her a neck rub at the end of a hard day.
You're taking the kids to the park, whatever. I think that's so manly. Not the whole, I'm a dude, I'm gonna go hammer a fucking nail into the wall.
Yeah,
I can do that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up the shelf, fucking kick someone's ass, and drink a beer. Like,
and then I'm gonna drink a beer and eat some steak. I don't know, whatever manly guys do. But I do think that this kind of segues into the topic that I had, which is something that I've been asking people for a few months now. Where when I meet somebody new, especially on the dating apps, I would ask people, in a zombie apocalypse, what would your role be? Mm-hmm. And this started, I think, back when I was dating one of my exes. I asked him, And I want to hear your answer before I kind of go into the answers of everybody and before I go into my answer. I'm super excited to hear. So in a zombie apocalypse, Mel,
Right.
what would your role be?
Okay. Well, full disclosure, I knew this was coming, so I kind of had some time to think about it a little bit. But I mean, if you want the simplified version, I'm going to go into
You
the
can
more,
go as
I'll go in more detail too.
In as much detail
But
as
the
you want.
quick version, before I go into detail, would be like nurturer / gatherer or food, helping to grow and distribute food. That would be like the short answer.
Sure.
The long answer is, okay, so there's been multiple times now that I've been in some sort of situation where someone got hurt. Nothing super serious, but I remember we were all drunk as hell at a camping trip years ago. I think this was when me and Roy were still in the dating phase. And it was like the rocky dating phase, right? And we were all drunk, of course, because when you're in your early 20s and you go camping, you drink. Like, that's all you do. It was one of the tubing trips. And there was we had made a fire, but like Roy got wasted and he stepped in the fire drunk and burned his feet terribly, right? Like one of his foot, I remember it was all like blistered and white and shit.
Ew,
yeah,
that's disgusting.
And we were all drunk. So
Right.
I had to like pull myself out of the drunken state. And
I just pictured like a Ariel when the fucking like thing comes out of her,
Yeah.
when her voice gets taken out, but it's like you're drunk.
Yeah, but it's like
taken out.
I
of
literally
you.
had to like
Ah.
yeah, literally I had to like become a different person. I had to like pull myself out of that, and I went into okay, we got to deal with this mode. So, I made Roy sit down, like got the whatever health kit we had available, cleaned it out. I went into crisis mode, and I was very clear headed, and I was just like bam bam bam, like we got to do this.
Yeah.
And I think I've been pretty good in those types of situations. There's very few, unless I'm like super overstimulated, there's very few like emergency quote unquote situations that I like freak out. Cause I know some people can go into freak out mode and they panic and they don't know what to do. I'm not like that. So
Right.
I think I'd be good in those medical situations in a zombie apocalypse where someone gets injured and we need to like figure it out. Like, don't freak out, just fucking do it. That's like one of my good roles. My other good role is I enjoy cooking. I enjoy growing plants. And one of my goals in life is to have a garden that helps feed us, have, maybe chickens or some livestock and help raise those. And, so I feel like that would be my main contribution would be like growing food and cooking food, because I enjoy those things and I want to like make sure everybody's fed in some way, or like give people, some of my crops or whatever.
And dare I say that that's something that you do now, where you cook for your family every night.
Right. That's
And-
exactly
right, okay.
why I know I'd be good at it, is I enjoy that and I am decent at it. And I like hosting, and I feel like it's like a glorified
It's like
hosting. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
a little bit of a sad, scary
Zombie
hosting.
apocalypse
Yeah.
happens, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!
Let's have a
now's my
party."
chance. I'm gonna make a charcuterie
Right, I'm
board.
gonna make a good ass shoot, guys.
Not the zombie shoot.
Zombie shoot. But yeah, I think I'd be good at that. I think I'd be good at I'm really good at reading people. I'm good at like, I don't trust that person. Like,
Yeah, I
there's
think you
something
would be
about that
good at-
person.
Yeah,
Maybe we don't let them in.
you'd
right
be
now.
good at being like they're on a trial run, and you would be the one testing.
Right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
I could
like
see
be like,
that.
so, what do you say? Where are you from again?
What do you do?
Yeah. Like,
Who are you?
like, how
What's-
many
you're like,
people have you killed?
What's your
You know what I
birthday?
mean? Yeah. What's your birthday?
When's your birthday?
Yeah. What time and what city?
And
I'm
also,
like doing
and also, where were you born?
doing like flipping through
Instead
my
of
witch
Rick's,
books.
like, what were the questions that you said in The Walking Dead? It was like, how many people have you killed?
Yeah.
And then something else. Yours would be like, what time were you born?
Yeah.
What day were you? What is your moon rising
Yeah.
and sun?
When's the last time you when's the last time
When's the last time you stared at the moon?
yeah,
on a
when's the last time you
phone?
looked at the stars and whatever, cleansed your soul? But yeah, I think I'd be good at differentiating, like, this person seems a little shady. I don't trust them fully, because I'm like really good at reading like signals and cues from body language and stuff, just because, you know, when you live in a heightened state for a good chunk of your life,
when you have anxiety in your
really good at reading people's cues. So I think I'd be good at that. So I think that would be like
interesting.
The three big ones for me.
And those are good ones. Those are really good ones. So mine is what I always say is I would be the one I think I would be the cheerleader of the group. Mm-hmm. And I would be the one kind of going around to everybody and making sure they're okay. Right. So I would be like talking I would be everybody's therapist essentially. Like, hey, like I would kind of try to bring morale up. I would try to talk to people. I'm the personality hire. That's what I say. I'm the one that I'm going to cheer everybody else up and I'm going to make sure we can get through the day. And then tomorrow's a new day and we're going to do it all over again. And I'm going to make sure that everybody's good. Right. So that was kind of my take on it was I'm not a leader in any sense. I'm not necessarily a gatherer in any sense, but I am somebody that's going to try to keep the morale up, which I think is important in situations like that of I'm feeling a little bit doomed. Hey, you know what? That's what I'm here for. Right. And it's funny because Rocky answered the same way. Mm-hmm. And I was like, of course you fucking answered the same way.
Yeah, she's more of like the jokey girl.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to make everyone laugh.
I'm going to make sure that everybody's having a good time.
I feel like you also, didn't you say once that you would be like also the type of person that if like another group came by.
Oh, yeah, I'm the charmer.
Yeah, you'd be like, hey.
Yeah. So that's.
You want to trade or something?
No, that's totally my role is I think that I would be the group morale. I'm going to make sure everybody's doing good. And then if we run into another group, I'm for sure the one getting us into the club. Like 100%. I think that I'm the one that charms the pants out of whoever in that group to make them trust us and whatever else. Because I do think if it's one thing that I'm going to toot my own horn about, I think I am a charming person. And I think that I am somebody that can get along with everybody.
Right.
And I think that people trust me fairly easily because of that. So I think I would be good at that. So my whole thing with the whole zombie question is whenever I've asked, and I asked two men in particular about this, guys that I was kind of seeing in the past, and both of them were like, well, I would be the leader. I would be the leader. And I remember talking to them both and giving them my answer. So their answer was, I would be the leader. And I was like, okay, well, why? And they don't expect that. They're like, what? And I'm like, no, why? And they're like, well, you know, I think I would be the one that would gather everybody together, whatever. And then I would give them my answer. And both people said, okay, well, it sounds like maybe you would be the leader. And I was like, no, I don't think that I would be the leader. I think that I'm just going to help people. That's my role. I don't want to be a leader. And to me, it was so funny that both men answered immediately, leader. So that's why I asked the question on Facebook or on Instagram. And I was like, hey, in a zombie apocalypse, what would your role be? And the roles were kind of a little bit all over the place. I will say that.
Didn't you have like three possible answers?
I had three possible answers and then like an other. And one of them was, well, I would just die, which a lot of dudes.
Honestly, it depends on the type of zombie. Because if it's the ones that sprint and can leap over walls, I will literally lay down and let it happen. I'm not going to live in that world.
I think I would. I think I would go the I'm going to rub zombie intestines around myself route and hope for the best.
See if they don't smell you.
Right. But I had multiple answers, but I did have one where it was like submit whatever. So I kind of did both and kind of went off of that. 84% of people that voted that were men said, I'm going to be a leader. 16% were female. So of all of the people that voted, like that's a lot. That's more than 3/4 of the people were like leader. Dudes, all dudes.
I don't even think there should be one sole leader in any situation. Like there should be a couple people that like help decide things. Like, does anybody watch The Walking Dead? Do you see what happened when there's only one leader?
And so I had a different one where it was like, what would your role be? And I had two men say, I would help the community. I would help build the community up. I had 6 women say, I would help the community. I would build it up.
Right.
And then I had multiple women say, strategist, this is what I would do. But the majority of men were like, I want to shoot zombies.
Right. I'm the
leader.
I'm going to do everything
I'm going to beat up zombies with my bare hands. Why I oughta.
I'm going to punch him right in the brain.
But I thought, and it kind of confirmed my thought with that, was that I think men, and when I say men were saying leader, I don't mean they were just voting for it. I mean that they were submitting leader. I would be the leader. I would do this because I know this. I've been preparing this for this. I've been preparing for this since whatever, right? So it just confirmed the whole men default to, I'm going to be the leader.
Right.
But there's no reasoning behind it, right? There was no, well, I would be the leader because I know this. One person, actually, one of my friends, Dustin, he did put, I think that I would be a good leader because he was in the military.
Right.
And he gave me reasons. And I was like, okay, you know what? I will give you
right.
that.
That's valid.
You've been in the military.
Right.
You know how to organize. I get that. But the women, because I did have a prompt in there that said, like, if you have a longer answer. And like, I had multiple women go, I think that I would be like a strategist because I would do this. Mm-hmm. And dudes are just like, I kill zombies.
I lead her because I stab in head.
I lead her because I'm man. But I thought it was such an interesting thing that, especially with like my ex and whoever else that I asked, that their brain defaults to, I'm going to be the leader.
Right.
And women default to, almost every single woman went to, I'm going to be a medic so I can help the community. I'm going to build something. I'm going to garden was another one where I would make sure that I would gather resources.
Food
yes,
and medical issues are like the two
biggest
things
huge.
Besides other human and zombie threat.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's like so crucial, and that makes so much sense that women would be like the ones doing the mental load to think about those things that men just think that's not the main issue. The main issue is like we have to kill things. And
no
like,
way, I gotta kill zombies.
Yeah,
I did have a handful of guys that said I would just throw myself at the zombies, and I was like, I had like half of them were like, I would sacrifice myself for the better of the group. I would distract the horde, and I was like, I love you for that. Not super useful, but I love you for that. I think Squeegee said something like I would just be zombie fertilizer or something.
So he just was like, I'm deciding to lay down and I'm going to just, this is it.
Like,
I'm done.
Well, that's why we love him. But and then there was two guys that said I would protect everybody else. And one person in particular said I would be the traditional male and protect everybody. And I was like, I don't think in that instance that being a quote unquote traditional male and protecting is the right thing to do. I think that being somebody that's looking out for everybody else and making sure that everybody is okay mentally, making sure everybody's okay sustainably as far as food and water and meds and whatever. Dude, can you imagine being in the zombie apocalypse and needing contact lenses? I thought about that. I thought about that for a long time when I used to have contacts.
I have asthma. So all I think about is like if the zombie apocalypse happens, I'd immediately have to go to pharmacy and just clean them out of all of their asthma medications because that's all I think about.
What is that backpack full of? Inhalers.
Literally every asthma medication you could ever think of.
It's got so many inhalers in it.
And like, granted, my asthma isn't as severe as it used to be, but still, it's like, that's all I think about because I hate the feeling like I've never had like a serious allergy or asthma attack since probably I was like 2021. That's probably the last time I had a serious asthma attack where I thought I was going to pass out because I couldn't find my inhaler. So I'm sure it's gotten better with age, which happens to a lot of people with asthma, but it's like, oh my God, I can't, if I'm not able to find that asthma medication, I'm going to just lay down with Squeege because I'm just like, you know what? I'm not doing this.
Not you being like, make room for me, honey.
Just dig a slightly wider grave because I'm just gonna hang out with you.
Oh my God, no! I thought it was such an interesting thing, and you know what? And I think I told you this, where I was like, the polls are coming out with exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Right? Yeah, you did.
Where the majority of women were like thinking resources. I'm going to gather this. I'm going to be a medic. I'm going to be a strategist. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure that we have a plan.
Men just think like video games.
And dudes are like, leader.
Right.
No
I gotta
context.
shoot them all and
Yeah, I'm
kill
like,
them all. And...
Is there anything else to that? No,
Right.
just that? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I like how I went into this like 2-paragraph long explanation.
and men are like, leader.
Leader.
I shoot zombie in head. But it's interesting because I do think that it, I guess in a way, was like people defaulted to their like Neanderthal brain, I guess, where in a way where it was like dudes are like, I kill thing, and women are like, I take care of things. But it was, in my opinion, really nice. Not nice. Nice is not the right word for it, but it was kind of like, it was kind of a beautiful thing to see women go, I want to take care of other people and I want to make sure other people are okay. And I'm like, dude, that's why I love women. Like, we're just, even in a fucking hypothetical situation, it's, I want to take care of people.
I feel like so many times you have made the topic come to my head that I will literally talk about for 3 hours about how we should be a matriarch.
No, 100%. Well, and
because that's all I think about.
I've seen that on TikTok before, where they're like, there's, I don't know how many countless species out there that live in a matriarchy.
That's what I told you. I told you that there's like 5 species that are matriarch species,
right?
And that we have like identified, and they all have like a reason for menopause. Every other mammal does not have menopause. Well, but humans and like a handful of other animals do, and that's because it's like the other animal species that have it are matriarch run species. So why do human women have
They're
menopause?
like, stop making more.
No, it's because women are supposed to be fucking running shit, and like
after a certain age, it's like,
right after a certain age, we aren't supposed to be making babies anymore. We're supposed to
focus on ruling.
We're supposed to be teaching the next generation, passing down wisdom, like helping run things, helping build the future. That's why, and like, whales, elephants, other things. I can't remember exactly all the species, but they are matriarch, and that they have menopause also, and it's like fucking wild.
That's so weird.
So I don't want to get into it, but women are just so much more. And I'm not saying like the men can't be capable of this. I think they can be, but I feel like women are just like naturally more like wired to be, they think about the collective. They don't think about like a certain one goal. They think about the collective.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you. I think that women obviously care more about like what's happening around them and the people around them and everything.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was a super interesting topic. Something that we could tie into
macho man.
Yeah, the whole macho man versus the gentle. And I think that the whole zombie talk is something that definitely interests me. So
right.
So that's why when I didn't hear your answer before tonight.
No,
so
I just
the fact that
she
you
just
said
told me that was going to be a question. So
yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to think about it, but I never told her what the answer was going to be or anything.
Right. So the fact that you said that, I was like, yeah, no, that checks out. It checks out with everybody else.
It's in line with the hypothesis.
All right. I think we did a pretty good job of wrapping that up.
Are we going to put that to rest?
I think we should probably put that one to rest. We can cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening. Cheers. We'll talk to you guys later. Actually, you know what? All right, I want to take a moment to send a heartfelt thanks to everyone that has donated and shown us just such incredible support. Your encouragement has been both motivating and just extremely instrumental in helping us bring this super fun dream and adventure to life. And we're just so excited and beyond excited, actually, to start the journey. So a few special thank yous to Samantha, Chiblet, Darth Silent Bob, Dave M., Jess Bagel, who has a health and wellness journal available now at colorcodedcookie.com. Katie Edward, who wrote Call on Me and is one of the few books that I've actually finished and loved and read and everything in the last year and a half. Dustin, aka Wicked Warrior, your face and body painting skills never failed to amaze me, dude. You're doing incredible. Our beautiful friends, Gloria and Joanna, Tim, Mauricio Armachea, Greg, Squeegee, my friend Jason Abadi. Thank you for validating my thoughts while I navigate dating men. I appreciate you always listening to me yap. My Lavender in Life, Oz, who helped keep me grounded during one of the harder times in my life. To my wonderful family, my uncle Chris and his wife Letty, my incredible cousins, Eric and Chingona. You guys are always cheering me on. My parents, Mallory's husband, Roy, who I also consider to be my family. Your unwavering support just absolutely means the world to us. And then finally to Mallory, you listened to me talk about a dream out loud, about starting a podcast. And not only did you encourage me to take the leap, but you took it with me. And I mean, you're my best friend and I love you. And I couldn't imagine doing this with anybody else. So thank you guys again for listening, for being here, for supporting us and encouraging us. And we will catch you on the next one.